My stepmother smiled as she whispered, "You know Sailor got fired again, right? Poor thing can't hold a job." Everyone at the family dinner laughed, except me. Because the truth was I hadn't been fired. I had resigned. And what no one knew was that I'd left that company for a reason. The same company where she'd been, hiding a secret that could destroy her entire reputation. If you've ever been wrongly blamed or lied about by someone pretending to be innocent, you're going to love this. Make sure to subscribe, share this video, and stay till the end, because the twist will leave you speechless. Her words spread faster than wildfire. My cousin stopped talking to me. My dad, who had married her after Mom passed, started believing her stories. "Sailor, you need to be more responsible," he said one night, shaking his head while she stood behind him, pretending to look concerned. She played the perfect victim. Gentle voice, fake tears, always acting like she wanted the best for me. But every time she smiled at me, I saw that flicker of satisfaction in her eyes. She wanted to ruin me, and the worst part? She was winning. My job offer from a new tech firm suddenly got delayed. My credit card application got rejected. Even a landlord who'd already approved my rental suddenly said, "Sorry, something came up." It felt like someone was working behind the scenes, quietly shutting every door I tried to open. Then one night, while scrolling through emails, I noticed something strange. A message sent from my personal Gmail to my new employer, full of lies about me stealing company data. Except, I had never sent it. My hands trembled as I checked the IP address. It wasn't mine. It came from my father's house, her laptop. My heart raced. So it was her. My stepmother had been sabotaging me all along, spreading lies not just in person, but through fake emails and phone calls. But instead of confronting her right away, I decided to stay quiet and dig deeper. Because if she thought she could destroy me with lies, she had no idea what I was about to uncover about her. The next morning, I acted normal, smiled at her fake, "Good morning, honey," and even thanked her for making breakfast. She thought I was too broken to fight back. But behind that calm smile, I'd already started my plan. I took a day off and drove straight to my old office, where I still had a few friends in IT. "I need access to old internal records," I told them quietly. They hesitated until I said, "It's about fraud." 2 hours later, I was staring at a folder that made my blood run cold. It was full of financial transfers, thousands of dollars sent to an unknown account, under her name. My stepmother, the same woman who spread lies about me being lazy and irresponsible, had been siphoning money from company funds when she worked there as an accountant. And guess what? The fake email that got me fired came right after I started investigating a suspicious report, one that could have exposed her theft. That's why she ruined me. She wasn't protecting her image. She was protecting herself. I printed everything, stored it on a flash drive, and waited. That weekend, my dad hosted a big family gathering. "It's important," he said. "Your stepmother wants to make peace." I laughed under my breath. Peace or performance? As expected, she stood in front of everyone, pretending to be kind. "Sailor, we love you," she began softly. "We just want what's best. Maybe if you were more mature, people would see you differently." My aunt nodded. My cousin smirked. Even Dad seemed convinced. I kept my eyes down, pretending to accept defeat, until she said the one thing that flipped the room. "I hope someday Sailor learns that honesty and hard work matter more than excuses." I slowly looked up. "You're right," I said calmly. "And honesty is exactly what's missing here. Maybe we should show everyone what your version of honesty looks like." Her smile froze. "What are you talking about?" I took out the flash drive from my pocket and plugged it into the TV. Within seconds, the living room filled with screenshots, emails, transfers, her digital signature. Every lie she'd built her reputation on was unraveling in front of her friends and family. She gasped, pale and trembling. "That's not real," she shouted. "Oh, it's real," I said, stepping closer. "And the company already knows. They just needed confirmation, which I just sent before walking in." The entire room fell silent. Dad turned to her, stunned. "Tell me this isn't true, Karen," she stuttered, unable to speak. And that's when my phone buzzed. A message from my old boss. "Thank you, Sailor. The investigation is official. We're pressing charges. The moment my dad read the message over my shoulder, his entire face went white. Karen, he whispered, his voice shaking. What have you done? She tried to grab my arm, her voice trembling. Sailor, listen, this isn't what it looks like. I stepped back. It looks exactly like what you did. You stole money, destroyed my name, and made me look like a failure just to hide your crime. The room erupted into whispers. My cousins stared in disbelief. My aunt muttered, "Oh my God," and my father sank into his chair, his hands covering his face. For years, she had been the perfect wife, the sweet stepmother who tried her best with me. But now, her perfect mask was cracking in front of everyone. And then, the final blow hit. My old boss called. I put the phone on speaker. Sailor, we just confirmed everything. The funds were traced back to your stepmother's account. The board has decided to move forward with charges. Thank you for your help. Her knees buckled. Please, she whispered. Don't let them ruin me. I can fix this. I looked at her coldly. You already ruined me once. Now it's your turn to see what truth feels like. Dad stood up, his voice breaking. You lied to me for years. You made me turn against my own daughter. She tried to touch his hand, but he pulled away like her touch burned. Get out of my house, he said quietly, tears welling up in his eyes. Right now. She looked around desperately, but no one spoke up for her. The same relatives who once believed her lies now looked at her like a stranger. Slowly, she walked toward the door, her expensive heels echoing on the floor, her head bowed. But just when I thought it was over, she turned and said something that made everyone gasp. You think you've won, Sailor? You have no idea what you just started. The air froze. I tilted my head. Is that a threat? She smirked weakly. Let's just say, you're not the only one with secrets. And before anyone could ask what she meant, she walked out, leaving behind silence, confusion, and one burning question in everyone's mind. What secret could she possibly still be hiding? For the next few days, the house felt haunted. My dad barely spoke, just sat in his study staring at old photos like he was trying to figure out how his entire marriage had been a lie. I tried to move on. I even started my new job again, this time with people who actually respected me. But her last words kept echoing in my head. You're not the only one with secrets. I didn't want to believe she could still hurt me. But then strange things started happening again. My new boss received an anonymous email claiming I forged evidence against my stepmother. My landlord got a message warning him not to trust me. Even my best friend Mia got a text saying, Sailor is not who she seems. It was like she was haunting me from the outside, trying to destroy me even after being exposed. So I started digging again, and that's when I discovered something that flipped everything. While looking through her old files, I found a hidden folder labeled Legal Docs Private. Inside were scanned copies of inheritance papers, my mother's inheritance. It showed that when Mom passed away, I was supposed to inherit her savings, her property, and even the old lake house she loved. But after my stepmother married Dad, the documents were updated, with a new signature that wasn't mine. She hadn't just stolen from the company. She'd stolen from me. I could feel my pulse pounding. That's why she'd worked so hard to destroy me, because if I had found out earlier, I could have exposed her for forging legal documents. My mom's house, her savings, all of it had been transferred quietly to her name years ago, but she made one mistake. She forgot to delete the digital trail. Every forged document had metadata, timestamps, device IDs, and her login credentials. I had proof. That night, I sent everything to the lawyer who handled my mother's estate. This changes everything, he said, his tone urgent. Sailor, do you realize what this means? You could take everything back, legally. But before I could even think about celebrating, my phone buzzed with a new message. It was from an unknown number. If you touch those documents, I'll expose the truth about your mother. You don't know what she did. My heart dropped. The message ended with a photo. My mother, standing with a man I'd never seen before, and a date that didn't make sense. That's when I realized my stepmother's final weapon wasn't just a lie. It was a truth buried deep, one that could rewrite everything I thought I knew about my mom. I stared at the photo all night. My heart caught between rage and confusion. Who was that man? Why did the date show months before my mother passed away? My mind kept circling the same thought. Was my stepmother bluffing? Or had she found something real? The next morning, I drove straight to the lawyer's office. "We need to verify this," I told him, showing him the message. He frowned. "That man in the photo? He looks familiar." He searched his database, and within minutes, my world tilted. The man was Richard Hale, my father's business partner from years ago, the same man who suddenly vanished after Mom's death. "What does that mean?" I whispered. He hesitated. "It could mean your stepmother wasn't lying. Or she found something connected to why Richard disappeared." I left his office with a storm inside me. For years, I believed my stepmother was just jealous and manipulative. But what if she had stumbled upon something darker about my mom's past? Still, that didn't excuse the crime she'd committed against me. I had to end this once and for all. That night, I met her at a quiet cafe. Her choice. She looked nothing like the woman who once ruled our house. Her makeup was gone, her hair messy, eyes tired. But when she saw me, she smirked faintly. "You just couldn't leave it alone, could you, Sailor?" I slid the file across the table. "You forged my mom's will. You'll confess, or I'll make sure you lose everything." She sighed. "Your mother wasn't who you think she was," she whispered. "That man in the photo, he wasn't just anyone. He was her lawyer, and her secret husband." My stomach dropped. "That's impossible. She was married to my dad." "Legally, yes," she said softly. "But that second marriage, it was hidden. And when she died, he claimed part of her estate. Your dad covered it up to avoid a scandal." "I found the records, Sailor. I was protecting him. And myself." For a moment, I couldn't breathe. My mother, my father, my stepmother, all tangled in lies I never imagined. But then I remembered every humiliation, every sleepless night, every time she'd smiled while destroying me. "You don't get to use her memory to justify your greed," I said coldly. "You forged, you lied, you stole. And that's all anyone needs to know." I stood up, leaving the confession papers signed beside her coffee. She didn't chase me this time. Maybe she finally understood it was over. Weeks later, the case went public. My stepmother's name was everywhere. News headlines, social media, company updates. She lost her position, her friends, and her reputation. My father apologized, broken but honest, and I finally reclaimed what my mother had left for me. Her lake house, her savings, and her peace. The night I moved into that house, I stood on the porch overlooking the water. The same reflection where Mom once stood now showed me. Stronger, quieter, unshakable. People still whisper about what happened to my stepmother. Some say she left the country. Some say she's trying to rebuild her life. But honestly, I don't care. Because she tried to bury me with lies, and all she did was dig her own grave.